وسيتم تقديمهم من قبل رئيس الجلسة الدكتور أيمن الوليدي.
السلام عليكم. Thank you for your attendance, and we'd like to thank the event coordinator or committee for their amazing event. We'll start with Professor Mohammed Arif. He works at National Housing and Building Research Center in Cairo. Please come in. He has a bachelor's degree in urban planning and master degree and PhD degree since 1999. He has more than 40 years experience in practical academic research and experience. He has published several scientific papers, attending a lot of conferences as well. So please welcome with me Professor Mohammed Arif. The second panelist would like to welcome Dr. Mohammed Marzouk. Dr. Mohammed Marzouk, he is a professor in construction and engineering in Cairo University. He has more than 25 experience in research, consultancy and project management. He is one of the, he is recognized as named among of the top 2% of the world most impactful scientists by Stanford University. Please welcome with me Professor Mohammed. Our third speaker or panelist, Engineer Yazid Al-Hakbani. Yazid Al-Hakbani has experience in university operation. He is advisor for the Vice President of the Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz University. He is leading a project that includes operation and maintenance contracts. Please welcome with me Engineer Yazid Al-Hakbani. Our last speaker, Dr. Mustafa Al-Hawari. He is information technology expert, has several experience in more than 28 years of experience in the drive innovation and transformation across diversity of industry. He is a VP technology at Nama Consultant, Saudi Arabia. Please welcome with me Dr. Mustafa Al-Hawari. So our panelists today, they prepare interesting presentation. We'll start with Dr. Mohammed Arif, our Professor Mohammed Arif. Please stand up and present your presentation. You have 2 minutes.
السلام عليكم. النهارده هتكلم على المنظومه التكنولوجيا الانترنت الاشياء واستخداماتها في اداره الصيانه والمكافحه الذكيه للحرائق. يمكن الموضوع هتكلم فيه على يعني ايه تحسين ورفع كفاءه اداره العمران، الاتجاهات، استخدام الاساليب الذكيه، استخدام الانظمه، المكونات المنصه السحابيه، الميكنه المتكامله. ولكن انا في حاجات همر عليها مرور الكرام وحاجات هركز عليها بهدف ان انا عايز اوصل ايه اللي احنا عايزينه من البحث. لو بصينا على احنا ليه كل المؤتمر والابحاث اللي شفناها اللي بتتكلم على الانظمه الرقميه، لكن الهدف هتلاقيه كله بيتمحور حوالين تحسين جودة الحياة. تحسين جودة الحياة ليها أدوات كتيرة، منها تطبيقات المدن الذكية، منها العمران الأخضر المستدام، منها تحقيق متطلبات الاستدامة، المدن المرنة اللي بتتعامل مع الأزمات، التكيف مع التغيرات المناخية. طيب لما اتكلم على تطبيقات المدن الذكيه بصفتي تخصصي تخطيط عمراني، فانا بتكلم على المدينه والعنصر الاساسي فيها هو المبنى. يبقى أنا هنا هركز على إزاي أعمل مبنى ذكي. مبنى ذكي يعني مبنى بيتكلم مع المباني اللي حواليه. المباني يعني ايه بيتكلم؟ يعني بيطلع معلومات وبيستقبل معلومات. يبقى انا عايز اوجد داخل المبنى انظمه ذكيه كلها بتتكلم مع بعضيها. مش هعمل نظام للحريق او نظام للمصاعد او نظام للكهرباء مش عارفين يتكلموا مع بعض، يبقى لازم في انظمه موحده بتتكلم مع بعض. طيب ليه بنستخدم الأساليب الذكية لمكافحة الحريق؟ عشان نوفر الجهد والمال ورفع كفاءة الأنظمة وحماية تلك المباني من أخطار الحريق، وأهم حاجة تكامل الأنظمة مع بعضيها، الأتمتة أوتوميشن. طب مفهوم الاي او تي هي منظومه بتعمل على ربط جميع الاجهزه والتقنيات الذكيه مع بعض. طب المبنى الذكي زي ما اتكلمنا هو مبنى بيتكلم مع المباني اللي حواليه، بيصدر معلومات وبيستقبل عنده قدره انه يتكلم ويطلع المعلومات. طب مفهوم المكافحه الذكيه انه مجرد اندلاع حريق لا قدر الله الانظمه كلها بتشتغل ويتم ابلاغ السلطات المختصه دون اللجوء الى العنصر البشري. طيب يعني ايه مبنى مستدام ذكي؟ اي مبنى فيه تقنيات حديثه هو مبنى حديث او مبنى ما نقدرش نقول عليه ذكي. طيب لو زودنا عليه متطلبات الاستدامه وحطينا الانظمه التكنولوجيه اصبح مبنى ذكي. طيب ايه الانظمه بقى الاساسيه؟ عندنا 4 انظمه اساسيه: خدمات المرافق، خدمات الاتصالات، الخدمات الامنيه، الخدمات السلامه المدنيه. ال4 الوان دول 4 الوان متعارف عليهم دوليا. اي مبنى نقدر نزود فيه الانظمه، لكن في انظمه زي الامن والتهويه والتحكم والاتصال والرقمنه والانظمه اللي احنا شايفينها دي انا هعتبرها هي الحد الادنى لأنظمة إدارة المبنى الذكي المطلوب توافرها. طيب الميكنة المتكاملة لو بصينا على العناصر اللي في النص من أول نظام إنذار الحريق لغاية أنظمة مراقبة جودة الهواء، كلها أنظمة لازم تكون بتشتغل مع بعضيها، ونقدر نطبقها على المبنى الإداري، التجاري، السكني، التعليمي، الصناعي، كل أنواع المباني نقدر نطبق فيها الأنظمة دي. وطبعا كل نوع من الأنواع دي له التكلفة بتاعته والاستفادة أو العائد منها بعد كده. طيب لو عايزين نعمل بقى منصة بلاتفورم علشان نجمع فيها كل الأنظمة دي من أول إنذار الحريق وإدارة الخطة والمراقبة بالفيديو، يبقى في مكونات أساسية موجودة في البلاتفورم لمنظومة الأمن والسلامة. زي ما اتفقنا في عندنا 4 منصات رئيسية وفي 9 أنظمة ذكية زي ما احنا شايفين في الشكل على اليمين، ومنها مراقبة الحريق، صيانة أجهزة الحريق، إدارة القرار وده مهم جدا، وإدارة المبنى، لأن في حالة الحريق لا قدر الله محتاجين إنه ندير المبنى. ولكن في دلوقتي كمان الدرونز أصبح من الأدوات اللي بتجمع معلومات نقدر نستفيد منها أثناء اندلاع الحريق. عناصر الميكنة المتكاملة زي ما اتفقنا أجهزة الاتصالات الطرفية أو اللي هي زي السنسور، زي الكاميرات، زي الدرونز، والمحطات الطرفية، والنظام الأساسي السحابي اللي هو بيتجمع عليه، والخدمات الأخرى اللي هي خدمات التسكير. وعندنا العناصر اللي هي بتستخدم كل الكلام ده. الأنظمة المكملة لأنظمة الإدارة الذكية لمكافحة الحريق بنلاقي نظام الجي بي اس ونظام الجي اس ام ونظام الجي اي اس. طبعا الأنظمة دي كلها ليها فوائد في وصول السلطات المختصة اللي هي إذا كانت الدفاع المدني، الإسعاف، حتى الشرطة، انها توجد كلها تشتغل مع بعضيها وفق المنظومه اللي هي موجوده او الانظمه الموجوده في مكافحه الحريق. ايه مميزاتها؟ مراقبه اشارات التنبيه، التنسيق مع فرق اطفاء الحريق والشرطه، الخدمات الطبيه، تزويد الدفاع المدني بقاعده. مهم جدا في اتخاذ القرار انه يكون في قاعده معلومات مسبقة، معروف فين أجهزة الدفاع أو معدات الدفاع المدني هتدخل فين وتطفي إزاي. أقرب كمان مورد للمية، الإنذار المبكر في حالات الطوارئ، مجرد ما صدور الدخان غالبا محدش في حالة الحريق بيموت أولا من الحريق، لا بيموت من الدخان. فاحنا بيبقى محتاجين الأول نتعامل مع التخلص من الدخان. طبعا الاختبار الدوري لمعدات مكافحة الحريق ده من أهم الموضوعات الموجودة والصيانة الدورية ليها. مميزاتها ان بنراقب انظمه خزانات الميه والكشف عن تسريب الغاز والتحكم في الحريق، وفي الشاشه اللي هي بتراقب كل الانظمه مع بعض، ودي كانت موجوده في احد المشاريع التجاريه الكبرى. طب ايه هي المتطلبات لاستخدام اجهزه الكشف عن الحريق؟ احنا محتاجين الى قوانين او قانون ملزم لتطبيقه على المجتمع كله، ويكون في آليات تطبيق، ويكون في فترة سماح لتطبيق القرار، سواء على المباني السكنية أو على المباني اللي هي مش ذات سعة كبيرة. كمان محتاجين إن احنا نربط إصدار التراخيص باشتراطات التركيب والمشاركة في التكلفة، إن الدولة تتحمل جزء من التكلفة لمحدودي الدخل، ويكون التعاون ده مع وزارة الداخلية ومع كافة الجهات المطلوبة. المنهجية المطورة، احنا عايزين نتوسع في انترنت الأشياء وإنشاء قاعدة معلومات متكاملة، ويكون في تطور التكنولوجي الرقمي المطلوب لتحقيق المكافحة الذكية للحرائق. بنهي البرزنتيشن ب2 سلايد. الخدمات اللي مطلوبة، يمكن هتلاقي تكامل الأنظمة الرئيسية، بنتكلم على التريبل سي والسي او سي. انا بعتبر السي او سي من اهم العناصر اللي المفروض تكون موجوده على مستوى المدينه، لان المبنى الذكي هو موجود فيه كل الاربع عناصر الرئيسيه اللي اتكلمت عليهم في الاول حسب الالوان بتاعتهم والانظمه، بالاضافه للامن السيبراني، وده مرتبط كله مع المنصه المتكامله. المبنى ده بيكون مجموعه مباني مع بعضيها، المجموعه المباني دي كلها لازم تكون فيها الانظمه اللي موجوده في المبنى الواحد، وفي الاخر بتتكامل على مستوى المدينه مع المرافق الذكيه برضو، اللي هي سواء اداره الميه او المخلفات او النقل او الطاقه او مراقبه البيئه. يبقى اذا هنا في منظومه متكامله من المبنى من العمران، ومنظومه متكامله من البنيه الاساسيه. ده بيتكامل مع المدينه او المبنى الاول. هو هنلاقي الخدمات دي كلها بتصب مع، مثلا اذا كان في كوميونتي او في كومباوند، بيصب مع نفس العناصر اللي موجوده في المبنى، هي نفس العناصر على مستوى تجمع عمراني، هي نفس الانظمه الموجوده على مستوى مشغل المدينه. اختتم واقول ان احنا محتاجين اول حاجه استخدام الامن السيبراني واعاده النظر في النظام التشريعي، وان يحتاج اصدار كود يلزم الاستشاريين والمجتمع كله، ونستخدم تكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي وتطبيقاتها ومكافحه الذكيه للحرائق وتطبيق الانظمه الذكيه المساعده. واشكركم.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Just to conclude this presentation, three main disciplines was highlighted. The first one is the smart city. Second one is sustainability. The third one is the FLS consultant. So having these three consultants during the design stage will impact the efficiency of the operation. So thank you so much, Professor Mohammed. Now we'll start with Professor Mohammed Marzouk to start his technical presentation.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thanks, Dr. Ayman, for the introduction. My name is Mohammed Marzouk. I'm professor of construction engineering and management at Cairo University. And this is part of master research work that was done by Mahmoud Hamdi, and he graduated and currently is preparing a research paper for Automation in Construction Journal. In the presentation, we do have 5 main items in the agenda. First, we will give a background about the topic which we try to analyze. Second, we will present the components of the framework and the case study. And finally, we will wrap the presentation with the results and discussion. Starting by the background or the research motivation, in urban cities, we do have so many utilities, and most of the time, we don't know the exact location for such utilities. So we are trying to find a methodology or to adapt a system that automates the process of detecting such utilities in a safer way. This is first. Second, to have a cost-efficient methodology in conducting or applying such technique. So we did think about using or integrating the artificial intelligence with augmented reality. So this is the tools or the techniques which we adopted in the research. So in order to apply or let's say implement the framework, we decided to have 4 main stages. The first stage, which is data collection and processing, and it consists of several steps, as you will see, starting by data collection, data decryption, just to translate the data which we collect, and data fusion to integrate different, let's say, frequency of the utilized technique, which we will see later. We will use the GPR, and we do sort of, filtering for the data to enhance and generate so many, let's say, images, which we will use later on in the second stage, which is training and inference. So we start in the second stage by data preparation, testing and training the model, and applying the filter configuration. Well, we done with the second one, so we would like to make sure, can we enhance the model which we built? So we'll go for post-processing and do a post-processing stage or step, then evaluating the model and generating point cloud from the obtained data. Finally, we apply the AR visualization using HoloLens and test the model to see, does it perform the designated function or not? So I'll go quickly through such stages. We apply the model in a city that is called Mustaqbal City in the New Cairo, and we were using a GPR device that consists of 2 frequency, 2,400 and 400 megahertz. And after collecting the data, we used it to test a specific case study that we know in advance. It has 3 passes for the infrastructure, as you see here, from different distances from our original point. So starting the second step after data collection, we do data decryption, just to translate the data which we collected from the GPR in a manner that can be understood by the deep learning model which we developed. And as I mentioned, we had 2 frequencies, one 2,000 and the second one, which is 400. So we combined the 2 frequencies or the 2 data which we got from the GPR in a single one, which is called, we do fusion for the data. And you see the red one is more, clear than the two separate ones. Then we applied several filters including signal gain, DWOW filter, and so forth. So we ended up with several patterns for the data which we got, and we selected only 15%, that the best 15% of the data after applying the different filters. Then we go to the deep learning model. We used mask sense tool, and we did, define 3 categories for the model, high parabola type 1, and the object, and high parabola type 2, and the system would be able to identify such elements as you see in the right-hand side. So we did practice with several tools. We had several bugs, and we did solve such things using mask RCNN. It is generated by Matterport. And as you see here, we did data augmentation to generate more, let's say, images for the collected data for the infrastructure by applying different techniques, having, tilting the image, having it darker, have it more bright. We cut and crop part of it, so we add blur just to add different impacts that might influence the data which we collect in using the GPR. And here we have samples for the different techniques. Then we used a already trained model, and we try to enhance such trained model by the data which we collected. And we did it in several stages. The first one had 60 epochs, the second one 20, the third one 20, and we ended up with the one that has minimum validation error, which was epoch number 93. Sure. Well, we asked the model to let us know where is the objects which we have, and when we have more frequency for the different filters which we had, we said, well, if it passes 85%, we will consider this one as an object, and we consider it, as you see here, if there is occurrence of 85%, we would say, well, we have something here. We should go and analyze this object. Then we created the point cloud from the objects. As you see here, we have binary masks in order to use it in the augmented reality model. As you see here, we highlighted the locations for the objects. And if you remember the case study, we had 3 passes for the utilities. Then we designed the fourth module, which is augmented reality. We used HoloLens first generation. We used the marker using Vuforia, and we put it in the origin, so we would be able to see, and this is how we designed the interface for the augmented reality, so I will skip this part. So yeah, this is the screen which the user gonna see when he puts the HoloLens glass. This is a video, I'm gonna skip it for the sake of the time. It doesn't flip. Yeah, here we analyzed the accuracy using different parameters, precision, and recall, and F1 score, and we see enhancement after doing the post-processing analysis. With this, I wrap the presentation. we introduced a framework that integrates GPR data with augmented reality in order to identify the location of the infrastructure. And this is research can be further, analyzed, and we have some of the recommendation which can be done in the future research. With this, I wrap the presentation, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Muhammad, for this case study. Now we have Engineer Yazid Al-Haqbani. He is going to present using key performance indicator for improve the operational excellence. Yours is yours.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله جميعا. In the name of Allah, most gracious and most merciful, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Today I will be speaking about assessing the impact of digital innovations on operational excellence, KPIs, and artificial intelligence, analytic in assets, and facility management. So today, as we know, every building there's increasing of digital transformation in assets, and facility management present opportunities for operational environments, for operational improvements. So to access this impact of digital initiatives using KPIs and AI analytics, to this study to provide a comprehensive framework for evaluating the effectiveness of these initiatives. So traditional KPIs like energy consumption and uptime are not sufficient to measure digital initiatives impact. So there is two schools for KPIs, the old schools and new schools. So today we will speak about the new schools for KPIs. There is a need for advanced framework to integrate AI-based analytic with KPIs measurements. So this study or this presentation will how AI can enhance data analytics for better decision making and facility management. So we take the university as a case study. So we will go details how energy savings in university buildings. So why we take the university? Because the university, they have multiple challenges. For example, we have students, we have teaching staff, also we have employee, we have visitors, we have female section also. So all of these are challenges in the university. Also we have challenge in energy consumption or energy management. Also IoT based on solution and the cost. What about the cybersecurity? All of these challenges are in the university building. So let's take this picture. This is the Internet of Things. We will build sensors in classrooms, also in the main halls, so they can collect the data from the classroom. For example, how many students inside the classrooms? What about the CO2 levels? What about the HVAC system? So all of these sensors will collect data and they go to Internet of Things to take right decision maker. So buildings account for 40% of energy in Europe. So also regarding the university being particular energy intensive for their size and variable occupancy and diverse activities. So HVAC system also represents the largest energy consumption. As you know, the air condition and all HVAC system is the largest energy consumers. So this is a study comprehensive integrated with IoT technology, such as environmental sensors to monitor parameters like CO2 levels, temperature, and humidity. That enables real-time control of HVAC system. So an IoT driven system reduces energy consumption by up to 35% in the study. So we have saving in the consuming for energy consumption. Also the CO2 monitoring there is CO2 sensors can estimate room occupancy while adhering to privacy concerns. These sensors enable demand based on HVAC system, so operation and avoiding energy waste when rooms are unoccupied. About the cost and cybersecurity, while IoT solution can be low cost, the required come with cybersecurity challenge when networks span multiple buildings. So using IoT occupancy-based HVAC control sufficiently improved energy efficiency. The study showcased details mathematical models for analyzing energy use under different scenarios. So in university settings, energy savings are achievable through action like predictive HVAC controls and reduce over ventilations. So this presentation concludes that combining IoT technology, predictive analytic, and smart monitoring systems can greatly enhance energy efficiency in complex structure like university campus, reducing operational cost while maintaining occupant comfort and environmental sustainability. So thank you for your attention, and thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Yazid. Just to conclude, here is you using the KPIs indicator as a tools is crucial in the facility management industry. It's the tools that you can improve. So I would say, if you cannot measure, you cannot improve. Thank you, Yazid. Now we have the last speaker. We have Dr. Mustafa Al-Hawari. He's going to talk about tailored report in the building and facility management industry. Mike is yours, Doctor.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Ayman for his effort and for being our moderator. And also, I'd like to thank all the organizer committee and Omaintec, of course. And specifically, I'd like to name Mr. Lester for his effort until the last moment we got here. Thank you very much, Mr. Lester. Okay, I'm sorry, I would like to speak in Arabic. I hope you don't mind. Specifically, there is a translation, and I know there is it's one of the excellent translation. So I will start talking in Arabic. السلام عليكم تاني بقى بالعربي. وانا الحقيقه سعيد جدا بوجودي النهارده ان شاء الله، وهنبدا نتكلم. الموضوع اللي هنتكلم فيه الحقيقه موضوع يمكن قريب من السيشن او من الرؤيه الخاصه الجزء الخاص بالجلسه الحقيقه، ولكن يعني برضو مختلف شويه صغيرين، لان انا بتكلم في جزء خاص باستخدام الروبوتس. يعني اتحرك ازاي؟ تمام. الحقيقه اول نقطه او اول جزء احب اشير ليه، ان احنا دايما في اي تكنولوجيا بنستخدمها كلنا الحقيقه، مش حاجه معينه، وتعلمناها الحقيقه من اساتذتنا ان ايه الهدف، يعني ايه الهدف من وراء استخدام التكنولوجيا دي. فجزء كبير طبعا من استخدام الروبوتات احنا عايزين نعرف انا بستخدم الروبوت ليه، ايه الهدف من وراء الجزئيه دي، وخصوصا في الايه في الكونستراكشن اندستري او في الايه في صناعه الانشاء. طيب يعني الهدف الرئيسي هو الاوبريشن افشنسي او كفاءه التشغيل، سواء كان بقى التشغيل، الصيانه، الكفاءه نفسها. انا بدور على الكفاءه، مش الهدف ان انا يبقى عندي التكنولوجيا، مش الهدف ان انا استخدم التكنولوجيا في ان انا استعين بيها في حاجه اخرى غير الهدف الرئيسي هو الكفاءه. طيب يمكن الصورتين اللي قدامنا دول بيوضحوا تجربتين من التجارب العالميه الحقيقه اللي متميزه، ويمكن نشير ليها بعد كده. الاولاني ده الهاسكي، ده شركه كنديه بتنتجه الحقيقه، وبتنتجه بشكل متخصص لشركات الانشاءات بشكل يعني بشكل متخصص. الشركه الثانيه شركه دلتا وتشيب، دي من احد الشركات القويه جدا على مستوى العالم اللي شغاله في الجزء الخاص بالاتمته لجميع الصناعات، وطبعا الصناعات الانشاء دي احدها. طيب ايه المميزات؟ المميزات ببساطه هي الدقه، الاستمراريه بنفس المستوى في الخدمات اللي هو بنسميها كونسيستنسي. الاخطاء الهيومن ايرورز، احنا بنقلل الاخطاء البشريه. اخر حاجه طبعا التكلفه، ودي يعني خلينا نقول لها على المدى البعيد، يعني هي مش من البدايه يعني. طيب بعد كده ايه الخدمات اللي ممكن نقدمها؟ المعتاد واللي الناس كلها هتلاقيها يعني متعرف عليها وعارفينها، هي النظافه، الصيانه، الانسبكشن، الفحص. شكرا يا دكتور. ساعات الواحد بيروح منه الكلام عربي او انجليزي وحاجات اخرى طبعا. طيب نتنقل بسرعه عشان ما نطولش. هي الحقيقه المفروض يكون دول الفيديوهات يعني. لو رجعنا يعني نشوف التاريخ، بدايه الروبوتس دي او بدايه الشغل ده يعني من قديم الازل الحقيقه، يمكن من القرن الماضي. الفيديو ده بيوري ان هو كان بيحاولوا يشتغلوا في اتجاه الروبوتس دي او في اتجاه الانسان. يعني خلينا ما نقولش الانسان الالي هو الروبوتات يعني، بس بشكل خاص بالميكانيكا، يعني بينقل حاجات، يشيل حاجه بس بشكل ميكانيكي. هو ما بيدورش على التصور الجديد اللي احنا عايشينه اليوم في اخر، يعني خلينا نقول اخر 5 سنوات، هو الاتمته. يعني انا بحاول احول كل المنظومه بتاعتي الى منظومه مؤتمته. تمام. طيب طب ليه التصور ده بدا يتغير وبدا يجي بالشكل؟ خلينا نشوف النقطه اللي بعديها. هي ايه حاجه على مستوى العالم، دي مشكله على مستوى العالم، هي الليبر شورتج، او يعني طبعا العربي ان احنا نقص العماله. احنا عندنا نقص شديد في العماله المهره المدربه. فانا لو بدات استخدم روبوت بيقوم بالعمليه دي بشكل مؤتمت بشكل جيد، انا تخطيت كل الحدود الخاصه بوجود العماله المدربه. طب غير كده لا، في نقطه ثانيه مهمه جدا. هي ان معظم المشروعات دلوقتي بقت مشروعات معقده، بحتاج فيها شغل الحقيقه عالي الدقه وبشكل متكرر. تمام. طيب يعني يمكن دي نماذج سريعه للاستخدامات على مستوى العالم، انا مش هخش في تفاصيلها، بس طبعا الروبوتات الخاصه بالنظافه ده اول نموذج ده في احد المطارات في امريكا. النموذج الثاني هو استخدام الدرون. والدرون احنا اللي هي المسيرات احنا بنعتبرها من ضمن الروبوتات او من ضمن الاليات ذاتيه الحركه. تمام. بالنسبه لاخر نقطه او اخر مثال، هو المثال استخدام الروبوتات في نظافه وصيانه والتحكم الخاص بالتهوئه والتكييف وممرات التكييف وشغل الاتش فاك بالكامل. طيب بالنسبه للمرئيات بقى المستقبليه او الاحصائيات الخاصه باستخدام الروبوتات في انشطه الكونستراكشن، انشطه الانشاء او في الصناعه دي. الحقيقه في دراسات كتير الحقيقه، بس انا حبيت اخد يعني لقطات كده من دراسات قديمه وجديده، يعني هي مش كلها حديثه. لكن اول دراسه دي بتقول ان احنا خلال يعني 2-3 احنا بنتكلم في زياده في يعني خلينا نقول، انا طبعا الانجليزي هقولها بس انا العربي مش هعرف اجيبها بالظبط، ممكن دكتور ايمن يساعدني. هي الكومباوند انيوال جروث ريت، يعني الزياده في بالعربي بقى دي تايهه مني يعني. الزياده السنويه حوالي 20%، ودي طبعا يعني نسبه تعتبر عاليه جدا، خصوصا في الصناعات اللي بتحتاج تمويل كبير. في الجزء الخاص او الاحصائيه الثانيه بتتكلم عن البرودكتيفيتي جينز او الفائده او في الانتاجيه من وراء استخدام الروبوتات. في الجزء الخاص بالروبوتس، لان هو كان بيقارن ما بين التكنولوجيات المختلفه سواء كان الاي تي او الستيم انجنز، فده تقريبا 36% او 30% زياده في الانتاجيه. طب بالنسبه للسيفتي والامان للعماله، بيزود او بيقلل الاصابات من 20 ل 40% وجود روبوت في الموقع. تمام. طيب بالنسبه بقى النقطه اللي يعني او حاجه من الحاجات اللي احنا بنتكلم عنها دلوقتي بقت اساس في شغلنا كله، هو الذكاء الصناعي والارتفيشال انتليجنس. هل موجود مع الروبوتات؟ بدا دلوقتي يبقى موجود، وبدا يبقى ليه صدى وليه استخدام فعلي. يمكن النموذجين اللي احنا حاطينهم، نموذج خاص باعمال الانشاء بشكل متكامل، ان استخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي في الدهانات، حتى في كذا حاجه. بيساعد بيساعد ويدعم استخدام الروبوتات. النموذج الثاني هو برضه هو نفس الهاسكي بس الجيل الاخير ليه، وده بيستخدم عشان لمراقبه بقى بيئه العمل وحاجات اشياء اخرى كتير باستخدام الذكاء الصناعي. طيب التوجهات العالميه او الفيوتشر دايركشنز حاليا بقى للتطوير في منظومه الروبوتات. يمكن هم ثلاث مجالات او ثلاث طرق رئيسيه دلوقتي بنتحرك في اتجاهها على مستوى العالم. الحاجه الاولانيه هي الكولابوريتيف روبوتس، او هي الايه المساعده، اللي هي روبوتات بتساعد البشر يعني، او البشر بيساعدوا الروبوتات مع بعض في منظومه متكامله بيساعدوا بعض. فده يمكن ده اول واحد. والنموذج اللي احنا عرضناه في البدايه خالص اللي هو خاص بشركه دلتا، واخده جائزه احسن تطوير خلال العام الماضي بروبوت او بذراع لمساعده البشر في مناوله الاشياء والحاجات دي كلها باستخدام الذكاء الصناعي بالظبط. اللي يمكن المسار الاخر او المسار الثاني هو الاوتونوموس سيستمز او المنظومه المتكامله ذاتيه العمل، ودي بشكل متكامل. يعني كتصورات دلوقتي ان انا يعني ابقى بحلم مثلا ان انا عايز ابني بنايه او حاجه يعني او اي شيء اخر، يعني برسمه على الكمبيوتر وانا قاعد كده، او حتى بداونلود ملف، يعني بنزل ملف من على الانترنت واقول له اطبعه لي مبنى، فبتنزل الروبوتات وتبني المبنى في خلال مثلا ساعتين او 4 ساعات على حسب الجزء بقى الاخير اللي احنا الناس شغاله عليه او العالم كله شغال، هو بري فابريكيشن اوتوميشن. وهو ده جزء خاص او اصيل، فكر اصيل حاليا بقى له فتره الحقيقه، وبدا يتطور بشكل قوي ان يبقى كل منشاتنا وكل اي منشا انا بفكر فيه اعمله موديولز، يعني اقسمه اجزاء معلش عذرا، اقسمه اجزاء، والاجزاء دي يتم انشائها في المصانع وتتركب في الموقع. وده يمكن تصور كانت يعني انجلترا هي البدايه وهي اللي بتزق في اتجاهه، انه لو مجرد ان الواحد عايز يبني جسر مثلا على طريق او حاجه زي كده بيطلع يبعت الروبوتات تبنيه. تمام. يمكن اللي الحقيقه بيبشر بالخير ويفرحنا طبعا ان احنا الحمد لله في المنطقه الدنيا بدات تتحرك بشكل كبير. نموذج يعني قوي جدا وانسبايرنج، او يعني بيساعدنا في ان احنا يعني نتحمس. دبي ما شاء الله، يعني هم حاليا بلديه دبي يعني المبنى بالكامل مطبوع بتكنولوجيا ثلاثيه الابعاد. المملكه طبعا الحمد لله بدات تبقى سباقه واستخدام الروبوتات، ويمكن حاجه من الحاجات المفرحه الحقيقه في المعرض حاليا النهارده يعني هيئه شؤون الحرمين عارضين روبوتات تنظيف، فاللي عنده وقت يحب يمر عليهم يتفرج. معلش هاخد بس كوبايه ميه.
دقيقه ها،
دقيقه واحده ان شاء الله. هي اخر شريحه، ممكن نعرض اخر شريحه ولا كان وي شو ذا فاينل سلايد ولا خلاص كده ممكن؟ لا دي مهمه قوي.
We can conclude.
This is the best flight. The best.
You can conclude.
Okay. Fine. في the final slide. آخر شريحة الحقيقة أنا كنت حابب إن إحنا نعرضها لأنها بتعرض حاجة من إنتاج الشركة عندنا جميلة جدا الحقيقة، ممتعة وموجودة حاليا. هي سيارة باستخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي. إحنا مسمينها بيف فيجن الحقيقة، وبنتحرك في اتجاه جديد إن إحنا نستخدم روبوت وبنسميناها باس فيجن عشان رصد العيوب والشروخ الخاصه بالمسارات المشاة. شكرا واسف على الاطاله.
Thank you, Dr. Mustafa. One of the real practice nowadays is we are using the robots for two main reasons. One is to deliver fast, and second one is to mitigate the risk on the human resource. One of the real examples is utilizing drones to clean the facade of the rise building. So by using this technology, you can deliver faster and you can reduce the risk and the human being. Thank you so much. We'll give the mic to Elias. Should we take a question, Elias? احنا will open نفتح المجال للأسئلة للأودينس. If you have any questions, please you can raise your hand. Okay, thank you so much.
نشكر الدكتور أيمن وليدي على إدارته لهذه الجلسة، والآن ندعوه لتكريم المتحدثين في هذه الجلسة. نبدأ بالأستاذ الدكتور محمد فتحي عارف، رئيس لجنة كود المدن الذكية بالمركز القومي لبحوث الإسكان والبناء بجمهورية مصر العربية. الأستاذ الدكتور محمد مرزوق، أستاذ جامعي بجامعة القاهرة بجمهورية مصر العربية. المهندس يزيد الحقباني، مهندس كهرباء بجامعة الأمير سلطان بن عبد العزيز، المملكة العربية السعودية. المهندس الدكتور مصطفى الهواري، نائب الرئيس للتقنية بشركة نماء للاستشارات المملكة العربية السعودية. وشكر خاص للدكتور أيمن الشهري على إدارته لهذه الجلسة، وهو عضو مجلس الأمناء بالمجلس العربي لإدارة الأصول والمرافق والصيانة. السادة والسيدات، ندعوكم لتناول الغداء، ومن ثم نستكمل هذا اليوم بعرض دليل المنظمة العالمية للصيانة للتحول الرقمي في ذات الأصول والمرافق والصيانة، مقدم العرض من IMA في هذه القاعة بإذن الله بعد تناول وجبة الغداء. حياكم الله.
we were all of us very much willing to contribute to this topic, which is really very hot topic, as you could see today in most of our presentation. So we decided to generate a standard that could be used by companies, by organization in the process of digitalizing assets, facilities, and maintenance. And that's not a very easy topic. We realize that this is a complex topic, as you will see. But we get the challenge, and I think we all accepted to do that with very clear ideas in mind that that's going to be interesting for the field of maintenance. Just to give you an introduction of the session, we're going to introduce briefly the committee. We're going to go in the second step for the survey that we did and the analysis that is already in place, the survey. So we will review that area that is very important for somehow extending results and research during the next year. We will see the report that will be ready for you to download it. There is a very interesting couple of documents that you can download, and you can see what we've been doing. And finally, we will review a couple of case studies presented by people that are dealing with these topics nowadays in the industry. And finally, we will give you recommendations for this digitalization area. Let's go then first for the introduction. We are a total of 8 members in the committee, okay? 5 of us were here in the stage, but we are very sorry not to have here with us Dr. Alan Wilson from the from the UK, that could not attend the meeting, but definitely has been really leading and empowering the committee during all these months. And then we have Engineer Basim Sayel and also Engineer Fahad Safrat helping us with the organization and of the committee. The goal that you can see of the committee is to explore a comprehensive structure for digitalization. So how do we do to get assets digital citizenship? It's not that easy. And we want to then be maintaining those digital assets. So how do we do this? What are the guidelines that we can follow? What are the tools that we have available to us? And what is the sequence, the steps to go, the course of action, and finally the tools that we have available. So we've been happy. We've been meeting several times, of course, online many times over the year, and then several times face-to-face during this year. And we've been researching these key areas in this document. So we'll be talking about digitalization, how to structure that, what steps to follow, and what we name asset data models that we need to do that properly. We will see procedures that we can exchange with you, and we will talk about difficulties, challenges, solutions that we have found for this road. We have arrived to a conclusion that is a sort of roadmap that we can follow to easy things for us. We will talk about future trends and innovations, and then we will give some new steps and tips at the end. Okay? The idea has been that we needed to know a little bit the situation. And before starting to develop any report, we certainly agree that a survey could be a must, and that it would be very interesting to have our community somehow expressing their concern and offering us the possibility to help somehow. And once we get that, then of course we can talk about challenges that we find because of that survey, and then finally to get a report that could help the community in a certain way. I'm very happy to see that our colleague, Engineer Mohamed Abu Afife, was really interested to go forward for the survey, and we gave him the possibility to structure properly the survey and then to make it public. And we can see how the survey was structured now, and what are the answers that we have. I think we have around 30 respondents so far, but we open the floor. We're opening today the floor for all of you to answer this survey. Engineer, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I am pleased today to be with you in Omaintec 21, or the 21 conference of Omaintec, and pleased to work with this committee that has dedicated time and effort in order to have these results across the maturity level of digitalization. Also, I am pleased to present the survey findings, despite that we have only 30 respondents since we distribute this survey recently. And we urge all the participants here, from their experiences and from their knowledge in the digitalization process that they are working on through their companies and their industries, to log on the QR code that will be presented after a while, to have a better look about the as-is situation inside the region, and also to see and to oversee what are the processes that should be adopted in order to have a good maturity of digitalization inside assets and facilities. So the survey aims to assess the maturity level of digitalization within a critical area across various industries. Not, we have six different industries that we are going to test their maturity level of digitalization. So we need to understand the current situation, the as-is of the digitalization process inside these, and to see what are the challenges that facing the implementation of the digitalization. The key objectives of this survey was to assess digital maturity in assets, facilities, and maintenance management and processes across various industries. Also, we have to identify the challenges that organizations face when implementing digital solutions in assets management and maintenance processes. Another important issue is to understand the adoption rates, which means assess how widely digital technologies are being used across different industries. In addition to that, we have key objectives that to determine the benefits. Of course, the expected and actual benefits, and the improved, and how the digitalization would be able to improve sustainability. One key objective was to benchmark industry practices across different industries to understand sector-specific trends. We have realized that there are different responses and different maturity level within the different industries, and trends and best practices in digitalization within these industries. Also, we have an important issue, which is highlight future trends and innovations that could be taken in order to move ahead with digitalization inside different industries. The other key objective is to provide actionable insights that looking to accelerate digital transformation in asset facilities and maintenance management, and to promote knowledge sharing from different industries and from different expertise. The target audience that we approach, there are several. Part of them are individuals, part of them are industries and companies. Mainly, they are professionals in asset and facility management, organization across various sectors, to see how is the process of the processes of the digitalization inside the assets and facility management across different companies and different industries. And also, we approach key roles in decision making and operation inside the companies, like those people who are responsible for strategic decisions, operations, management of assets and processes, and of course, industry-wide participation. The survey covers 12 main elements or main topics. They are digitalization challenges, emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, IoT, sensors, digital twins, and operation, just to oversee what are the type of digitalization that have been used up to this time, and what are the most prominent digitalization tools that are used. The financial impact, of course, there are a saying about the cost analysis, return on investment, and financial obstacles associated with digital transformation. We study the whole life cycle costing processes of the assets in order to have a good financial impact about that. And then we leveraging digital tools to transition from reactive to predictive maintenance practices. Process optimization was one of the major topics that have been covered in this survey, and data integration. Of course, data is one of the most important issue inside this, since we have to understand what is the level of data that we have, what are the precision of data, and what are the accuracy of that data. And this is important in order to have a good and visualization idea about the implementation of digitalization. The system flexibility and cybersecurity and hacking was one of the most important. Technology has been all the time considered as an important and vital part in digitalization, innovation, and how to think out of the box for the future development of digitalization, sustainability goals. Of course, we need to understand the correlation between application of digitalization and the sustainability. Workforce adaptation, one of the most important topics that have been raised, because employee has to be in the line to implement digitalization, and they have good faith in digitalization. Cross-department collaboration and collaboration between different teams have been issued through the topics of this digitalization. Industry-specific challenges, we have to understand what are the challenges related to different kind of industries. And of course, regularity and compliance alignment was one of the topics that have been raised. We urge all the participants of Omaintec conference to go through this survey by clicking this QR code, and we need to raise the maturity understanding of what has been doing inside your companies, inside your countries, inside your so please feel free to go there and send it to us as soon as possible. The preliminary results of the survey has been categorized in 7 or 8 major elements. One of them is the digital maturity stage. We recognize that most of the companies have been in the developing maturity level, not in the early stage, not in the advanced stage. And the gap between developing and advancing stage may be due to several reasons, including technological limitation, lack of skilled laborers, and resistance of change. The technologies that have been used, we recognize that sensors, IoT, artificial intelligence have been used mostly inside digitalization of assets and digital twins in a less manner, while there are no diversifying of using like virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and elements like that. The challenges that have been recognized mostly and prominent inside digitalization process is the integration, and then the resistance of change. As we told you before, we have 29 respondents. They are covering several regions, including Europe, 17, and Middle East, and other parts of the world. Hoping with your contribution today, we will have more than respondents from different geographic regions and from different industry issues. The sectors that have been approached was manufacturing, energy, IT, healthcare, and etc. Also, it is good in mentioning at this stage that the experience of the individuals that are participating in this survey was over than 15 years of experience, which means that they have a maturity level highly. The impact of digitalization was from slight to significant improvement, and we need to improve this by more training, more dedication, and something like this. The impact on sustainability was mainly two things, or two major things. The prominent issue was saved energy and extended asset life, and I think this is one of the most important issues that all of us needs to extend our assets as much as we can. The technology adaptation by sector, as you see through these graphs, have been IoT, sensors, AI, with energy utilities leading in both IoT and sensors. So we recognize that in energy and utilities leading using IoT and sensors. The challenges in digitalization by sector have been recognized, the resistance of the change and integration issue, the sustainability contribution by sector, energy reduction and assets life extension are the most reported impacts. Also, it is worth mentioning that there are important issues related to the findings of this survey, that there are disconnect between digital maturity and reported sustainability contribution. This can be due to several reasons, but we notice that two things: low digital maturity despite adoption. And I think we should work on this in order to have a good integration in the strategic alignment. And also, we find that there is a negligible impact on waste management, despite the fact that digitalization will improve sustainability. These findings highlight potential gaps between technology implementation, effective integration, and the realization of tangible benefits like sustainability and operational maturity. The last slide, or not the last, before the last, we have a recommendation for digitalization. We should have, the most prominent issue to focus on system integration and to have one unit understanding of the different systems inside the company. Also, we should address the resistance of the change. 25% of the respondents have addressed this issue. And also, we should invest in training and technical support. And I hope Omaintec today have developed several training courses in order to embed digitalization inside assets and facility management. Also, it is important, and I think there is a presentation this early morning focus on this issue, that we should adopt incremental digitalization. We don't to bridge right away from 0 to 100%. We need to move gradually in this and ensure the sustainability benefits have been released or realized. The fighting challenges that we should focus on is to do several issues, including comprehensive training programs and training as upskill and reskill of the people that are working in assets and facilities in order to have a good understanding of the subject. So we should develop upskilling and reskilling programs. Gradual implementation, we talk about this issue. Integrated solution, invest in platforms that offer interoperability and flexibility. Robust cybersecurity measures. Faster culture of change. The culture of change and the adoption is an important issue inside the digitalization goals. And monitor and adjust. This is the findings of the survey. As we told you before, we have recently circulated the survey, but I think today, with your contribution, we will have a better understanding of the issue, and the document will be more and more in this kind. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thomas Lajk. I will continue after Mohammed. And I would like to speak about the report we created. Can I have my presentation, please? I will start with the highlights of the report. What we aim to do, we wanted to emphasize the need of digitalizing maintenance management, of course. Then we created a strategic roadmap for digitalization, which is not just a generic roadmap. It is basically based on the results of the survey and our experience. We tried to describe and explain the 4 core asset data models. Adolfo, soon after me, will be speaking about these asset data models. We also addressed the current trends in digital technologies, processes, and IT systems, and we underlined the need or importance of workforce training and upskilling, which is quite an important issue, basing even on the results of the survey. We could see that resistance to change is a big issue, a big challenge in digitalization, and this needs to be worked with by means of workforce training or upskilling. But the most important information is this pink, the QR code. Please, you are invited to read and download this report by following or scanning this QR code. It is the same QR code as you saw before with the survey, so you can find all the outputs of our efforts, the survey, the report, and additional case studies, and there will be even more outputs or deliverables later on. We understand that digitalization of maintenance processes is quite a complex issue, or can be quite a complex issue, as you can see from this example of digital architecture of a railway operator. It is quite complex. There are a lot of elements interconnected, a lot of data flows, and quite a complex structure. But I think that more organizations struggle not with digitalization of processes, but rather with digitalization of assets. Because the digitalization of assets is quite a laborious and time-consuming work. It's more work than digitalization of processes, if I could simplify. So what do you need to do while digitalizing your assets? You need to translate the physical assets, the physical world, into the digital world, the pink area here on this slide. And you can do it step by step in several levels or levels of detail. You would start, obviously, with something very simple and basic like asset register, which is basically a list of assets you use, list of your property. You can enhance it with some IDs and naming and hierarchy or structure and locations, functions, categories, classes, and so on. And then you move on to the next level, which I call digital passports. That means enhancing this basic data structure, asset structure, with additional documents and additional information like drawings or photo documentation, or manuals, instructions. You can enhance it with lists of spare parts, or start to assess condition or criticality of the assets, or asset health index. And then we move on to the area of digital models. We can work with 3D models or other types of models we will be talking about in the following slides. And this is where the tools like GIS, the Geographical Information Systems, or BIM, Building Information Management, and other tools of this type come in place. And they can be really helpful for us in understanding how our assets are actually created, what they consist of, and so on. Then we can move the digital models into the area of digital shadows. That means to connect the models with real physical data or real-time data world. So we can visualize what's going on real-time in the real world on our screen of our computer. And then the last stage of digitalization of assets is the digital twins. That means bidirectional connection of data from physical world to the model, and from the model back to the physical world. That's the full-fledged digital twin. And what I want to point at is that today, though this is quite a challenging effort, today you can ask for help, and there are some entities that can be very helpful, and these are the manufacturers of the machines. And because the manufacturers of machines, of assets, and also the build we need to use in digital maintenance system. So we need to ask these vendors or manufacturers for cooperation, and we should move on from buying the pure hardware, pure machines, into the new world where we will buy the product, the physical product, together with its digital models. So manufacturers and vendors of machines and architects and developers of buildings can boost digitalization of your asset quite significantly. An example of such a digital model that can be obtained from the manufacturer is this 3D catalog of spare parts, which can be quite useful not only for understanding how this product, which is a tram, how this product is structured, what it consists of, but by clicking through and drilling down through this model, 3D model, you can easily find a spare part that is damaged and needs to be replaced, and you need to order this spare part and you can do it by just clicking. It works like an e-shop, so you can order the spare parts you need without even knowing its name. Or today we can work with digital twins, not only buildings, but also whole cities. This is an example from Twinzo. This is the digital twin of the city of Dubai. And it's not only a digital model, it's the real digital twin that would bring you the information from the sensors or from the devices installed in the building. And you can also bidirectionally control the buildings or the assets from your computer or from your digital twin. So these are technologies that are available today, and once you are ready with digitalization of your assets, then you can do digitalization of your maintenance processes, which then becomes quite easy. The maintenance processes actually need the digital assets to play with. It's like playing with cards. So the digital process needs cards to play with. And the digital process then, maintenance process, can be quite easy. We can boil it down into this simple thing. Everything starts with requests. The requests coming from different areas, like predictive maintenance, condition-based maintenance, preventive maintenance, or failures. Then the requests are converted into work orders. The work orders are scheduled and assigned in terms of human resources, but also other resources, physical resources like workshops or depots. Then the work order is executed, and at the end, the work order is closed, and it becomes the history in the data and can be then analyzed in order to find out or find some insights in order to improve the future processes. And while all these elements in digital maintenance systems are interconnected, when work order is created, you can check if the spare parts, for instance, are available in your warehouse. And if not, you can automatically order the spare parts from the vendors. Then when you schedule, when you do the scheduling of work orders and the work order to the people and to the place and in time also, then you should check the availability of spare parts once again, and if you are sure that the spare parts are available in the warehouse, then you can get down to work and do the work, do the job. And this is quite simple, but still, in some cases, we are struggling with either digitalization of processes or digitalization of assets. And I would like to show you one more technology that can help you with digitalization in general, architecture. You might be already using this architecture, not sure if you know about it or not, but the unified namespace in principle is an intermediate layer that is technology-free or technology-neutral, that serves that collects the data from the physical devices, physical machines or sensors, and then sends the data to the systems that need the data. So I'm trying to show the animation, and although we tested this several times today and yesterday, and it worked until now, so now this is the big, yeah, and now it's working. Okay, I can't see it over there, that's why. Oh yeah, everyday learning. Okay, so this is good, it is working. So from the animation, you can understand what's going on. So the data is collected into the unified namespace, which is one place of structured. So that means each bit of data in the unified namespace has its context. We know where it comes from what place, from what machine, from what asset, or from what sensor. What was the source of the data. And then the data can be used by different systems like ERPs or MES systems or reporting or databases, and it can be stored in data lakes and data warehouses. And it can work also bidirectionally. So the MES system over there, the manufacturing execution system, can send the data into the unified namespace to be delivered to the machine that accepts the data and changes its settings, for instance. So this architecture allows for quite easy management of data flows and connections linking between different elements in your digital system, unlike trying to link each piece with each system mutually. And here I think I will give words to Adolfo again. To Adolfo, yeah. Hopefully it works. Thank you.
It's very risky. Thank you very much, Tom, for that presentation. And let's then continue with the content of the report for you to have access to it. Anyway, I will probably address to Bassem Sajel, if anyone wants to fulfill that survey, because we, of course, maybe you didn't capture that QR code, but you can ask Bassem or the organization how to do it, because we need certainly those answers. I mean, we're willing, we're expecting that you can do that and help us. Exactly. So we can, in that box, we can provide you with that information. In terms of deliverables of our working group, this research committee, you have two documents that are very nice. The first one is about the digitalization process. It's sort of a standard. This was the first one. It tells you what are the models, data models you need to digitalize the assets to become a digital citizen, and then you can jump easily to digitalize the processes. And the second one, what we've been doing is, since we were doing a process of digitalizing this workshop dedicated to certify aptitude for the service in a railway infrastructure of these machines dedicated to the maintenance of the railway, then we decided to apply our standards, document 1, to that case study. And we have been providing the results of applying IMA standard to that case study for you to see how they've been going through building the different models and preparing an exercise that could be done by your companies, by your organization at any time, okay? So if I go for that first document that you can download here, okay, if you want. This is the same that Thomas was providing earlier. The first document is trying to tell you, explain to you, what are the data models that we must have. For example, this would be the end result. At the right-hand side and the bottom, you have this is a software named PowerBeam, and this software allows you to go through the workshop, look for a given asset, click on the asset, see what is going on, see the last inspection we got in the asset, see the KPIs that we got for them, all the status, whatever you want. So it's really powerful, but in order to go there, which is the second document, we first have to be very careful and understanding the data models that we need for those processes to run smoothly later. And that's the first document. The first document, what we've been doing is we've been going through different standards and best industry practices and determining what are the data models we need to digitalize the asset. That Thomas was saying is probably the most challenging thing to do. The asset needs to become, this second one standard that we have here is a very important one, IEC 81346, because it's talking to us that if we want the asset to become a digital asset, we need these 4 perspectives. We need to define the asset as a product, you know. You have the bill of materials, you have the elements that are composing the product. At the same time, that is classified as a type of assets. I wonder how many of your companies have their assets totally classified, but we've been taking in some of the network in Spain almost 2 years to classify the million assets they have, for instance. So that is not that simple. Seems to be simple, but it's not. The functionality of the asset is going to be important. So how many of you have a perfect, functional location of all the assets that are relevant to our company? Or finally, how many of you can place where the asset is located in a map, in a BIM, in whatever reference system you have? So these 4 models are in our document very well specified. So you first need to define the asset digitally, and in order to do that, you need these 4 class, product, functional location, and reference system you're using to locate it. So you have to provide that sort of information. So for example, here I'm doing that. I'm saying, well, this bearing, for example, is that sort of bearing, that manufacturer, that model number, that serial number. If I provide that data model properly, we can immediately connect to the list of parts that we may have in the bearing, you know, to the traceability of the bearing, warranty issues that may arise. That is possible. If I do provide information about the functional location, I can understand how critical the bearing can be for a given asset. If I do provide information about where the bearing is located in a given machine, then I can understand how to easily find it out. Or for example, if I determine clearly the service class and the bearing type I'm talking about, I will have immediate access to all the catalogs that I have for the failure modes, for example, symptoms, things like that. Or I will have accessibility to the master preventive plans and so on for that particular asset class. You know, so digitalizing that information represents for you accessing to a lot of catalogs, parts, list of spare parts, a lot. So you have to do that properly. Second model is criticality. If we want to jump into the process for maintenance, we must determine how critical is an asset. So we need the right information from the asset to place it in our criticality matrix. For instance, if I have that bearing that I presented to you before, how critical is that bearing for a given machine can be evaluated if we know the failure history of the bearing, the operational impact when we had a failure loss, how critical for safety was that failure loss, you know, whether we have more or less environmental impact. If that's in a train, for example, how critical was for comfort of the passengers if we had a problem with the bearing. So all these different details that we can add to that data model tells you this is the criticality of the item, and because of that, several processes will be followed later. But if we don't have the criticality of the items, many options for maintenance management will be lost. So this is, again, a must data model that we need to have. Then, one important thing, many of our assets nowadays may not be, you know, monitorized. So if we plan to have a digital asset, that asset needs to have a monitoring model. I mean, how many sensors I have been adding to the asset, what sort of variable am I going to be controlling, how frequent we will do that, what type of signal and interpretation do I need for that signal. So the asset monitoring model is relevant. Here, for example, you have, this is in the high-speed train that you have here in Saudi Arabia. These are some of the bearings that we have in the train and how they are monitorized. So I have that sort of information for that type of the bearing in the train, and then I can do different things with that, but I know how the asset is monitorized at the right time. And then finally, what happens is that whenever you are managing the assets digitally, each one of the processes that you go through, for example, you're going to do a CBM, you're going to do an RCM analysis, you're going to control digitally the spare parts. All these single processes, as Thomas was reviewing, will require another data model from the asset, you know? So a given process requires a data model that is needed for that asset to be managed. So that's another thing. And most of the times the process does not only require the data model, but as Thomas was presenting, this sort of framework or data architecture, how do we play with the data in order to complete that process, you know? So we need a framework, an architecture explaining to us how the data that we are using for that specific maintenance process is used. I mean, this is not, or this can be very complex because we're also using digital twins, we're also using BI apps to interact with the end user. But one way or another, if we are a maintenance engineer, at the end of the day, we will have this responsibility, and we have to understand that digitalizing processes require this sort of architecture. So this is something we have to face, we have to define. okay? One thing is the architecture, and a different thing, which is another complexity, is the platform. So while the architecture is the high-level design of these data flows and so on, the platform is going to talk to us about the environment that is going to be providing the tool, all this hardware that will allow us to implement the services that we need in our solution. And that is another area that we probably don't know very well, but that we know we have to go through if we want to digitalize the assets. So we have to be very careful. For example, myself, in my research team, we are now going through this process in many projects that are digital projects. And then we need to buy an IoT platform, then we need to buy computing capabilities in the fog or in the cloud. Then we have to establish one way or another how the transmission of data is going to be carried out. And we have to pay an initial investment for that, but maybe we have to pay a monthly, yearly, a fee for doing that. So this is something we cannot skip. We have to figure out. Platform is another issue. So as you can see, we have to fulfill a lot of data sets, data models, but when we jump into the processes will require a set of models with data and so on, Finally, my final point of the intervention that is also included in the report, the software that is embedded in the platforms is lately delivered to us as a service, okay? So another thing that is very interesting to explore is that when we're doing asset management, we can find, of course, the enterprise asset management system, but attached to that and offer as a software as a service, we can find a lot of applications that are performance improvement applications for maintenance, APM, that are available to us in different platforms. And at the same time, not only to improve the maintenance operation and execution, we have a lot of apps that are what we name nowadays asset investment planning apps that are helping us to build a much better capital plan. I was talking this morning about that. We are not only concerned about improving maintenance on a daily basis, but we are concerned about the long-term plan, major overhauls, major maintenance, resource assignment in the long term, and so on, okay? So this gives you an overview of what is in the document, okay? And then you can have access to it. And then this is, before we jump into the case studies, this is a first view of our recommendation. A very important thing working together in our first meeting is, well, Adolfo, probably when we start to deal with the issue in our company, it's not only to assess how mature we are in asset management. We can be very much mature, but in the digital world, we may not be mature at all. So remember engineer Sim explaining us, we better assess how mature we are in asset management, but also that duality with the digitalization. How many technologies we know, how many sort of techniques and system are we using, we are familiar with. So we do recommend seriously as a committee to assess both things, asset management maturity, but also to be very much concerned about digital maturity that we have in the organization before we start, okay? Then we have to define the goals. We could be going from 0 to 100, as we said, but we are recommending probably not to do that, to be very conservative in the sense that in this probably, time frame, we can go from this part of the matrix, if you see here the matrix, we could be located at any time of this matrix that you have in the document and decide to go to that cubicle in 3 years' time, for example. Be conservative, be taking care about that. And once we do that, we will have to select and implement all these technologies by understanding properly what we name here the digital infrastructure. That requires us to have the digital models, the digital, this digital framework, the architecture, the platform. So that's a lot of work and a very strategic thing. And then we do not have to forget that training and skilling people is going to be a must. We certainly saw that, that is a very, very serious concern of our community, that we have to face that smoothly, but also training people, and then going step by step, gradually evolving in this world. As we say, we have to be piloting, testing, and then scaling smoothly to a more digital maintenance management. Okay, then I'm finishing here, and we're presenting a couple of case studies that are very interesting, and I give the floor to Claudio Ronaldi for this presentation, please.
Hello, thank you very much for your attention. I'm Claudio Rolandi. I was a professor in the university in Switzerland, but nowadays I'm retired and no problems. Okay. Sorry. Green? Okay, fine. Just I have to speak about, maybe it's not, okay, fine. When you are the responsible of a technical service in a factory, you have to implement the digitalization of your documents. Pay attention, I have to prepare two different situations. When you have to put in compliance your equipment, normally it's easier because, for example, in Europe, since 1995, all the industrial activities are obliged to have all the documents ready to be used. And sometimes, if you have not the document updated, these documents are available by the original equipment manufacturer. So it happens, for example, in my situation, when I have to move from one property to another property, the factory, I had not all the documents ready, but I required this document from the equipment manufacturers, and the documents were more or less completely digitalized, PDF, drawings in CAD, and so on. The problem is more complex when you have to take under control a complex system, an industrial system, when you have some documents, but all the documents that you have, and the part of your document required, but what sublined by my previous speakers, are not available because sometimes are in the booklet that the supervisor of electricians, technicians, or the mechanical technician are inside in this pocket. So the booklet with many information that are required to complete all the required documents. So my suggestion, and based on experience done in a metallurgical system, it was a factory to produce aluminum starting from metallic waste, was to introduce the document. We cannot stop the factory for 6 months and put in compliance all the documents. So we decided to use the different requests of work order to have the opportunity to put in compliance all the documents that will be required to provide this type of activities during the maintenance interventions. So we started with a request for maintenance interventions issued by whom, with date, time, and possible reason for the request, followed by work order issued by whom, including date, time, priority, and authorizations. First of all, when we have to work in a classified system or very dangerous equipment, including the detection or the new coding, if not yet existent, because sometimes many of the components or part of subsystem were never classified. So you have to identify type of machinery, part number, serial number, subsystem, cost center, position in the plant layout with an identification number in the floor plan and P&I diagram to be communicated to the plant technical office and then approved. The final step, if it does not already exist, the technician will print an identified plate, preferable with a QR code or another easy and ambiguous system to be placed on the machinery being working on. If you have the opportunity to have a substitution, the suggest is to use new components that have the opportunity to be connected by network system. Okay, just a final consideration. There are other information that are required. For example, the suggestions of the technicians. And sometimes it is a good opportunity to have also the opportunity to storage this document, because the suggestion will help who will be the next technician to be involved to solve some problems that are not codified by the equipment manufacturer or never happened during the activities. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to present here today among the leaders and experts in the field of the asset management. I would like to thank my colleague, Dr. Claudio, Dr. Tom, Dr. Amro, Adolfo, and proud to be a member of the committee. So I will present the digital transformation case study that we have implemented in our electrical grid system. But before presenting the case study, and we had all saw and listened about the steps that we should take before we go to digital transformation. But the main question for all of us, what is motivating us to implement the concept of digital transformation in our organization? Why we want to invest human interaction errors associated while enhancing data-driven decision-making process. By embracing cutting-edge solution, we aim to future-proof our operation and foster innovation and deliver sustained value to our customer and the stakeholder. So what you have seen, the digital transformation will improve your performance and also reducing the risk and also reduce data processing and data recording services. And at the end, all these managed by equipment monitoring and alarm management system, intelligent dashboard, extended functions. All these at the end will present and the main dashboard that allow us to live monitoring and observing and taking the quick decision and monitoring our live asset. This is a zoom for detailed enhancement that we have seen in our operational. So you can see in the previous situation, we received the triple arms from our asset in the substation to the control rooms. Then the control rooms will communicate to operational team. Operational team will send inspection team to the site to investigate and to confirm the incident and the type of the incident. Then they will report back to the control room, while they will also repeat back to the operational team to send the correct and concerned team to take the action for the fault. After implementing MISC Intelligent Support System, you can see now it's directly connected to our monitoring devices and sensor directly, and all this information we received through the system has been analyzed and with using AI tool, and that will support the decision making with immediate decision recommendation that will send to the concerned team and operational team to take the immediate and the right action. So here you can see the huge reduction in the time response, which will affect directly to the reliability of our system, and also will affect directly to the reducing the operational cost, and also will increase the reliability and efficiency of the system, will satisfy our customers. Overall benefit of implementing such a digital transformation initiative is to improve quality through remote support access, also quick response for fault prediction, and comprehensive data collection with online monitoring, improve efficiency by implementing intelligent inspection, also improve the skills of the manpower for smart training using AR, augmented reality, and virtual reality systems. This business value, strategic value for enhancing system reliability, decreased downtime, increased safety, unified system to effectively manage and the asset and the risk, also maximize the asset utilization and delay investment for new infrastructure, better short-term and long-term system planning. At the end, what we learned from our initiative, the case study we have implemented, for sure establish strong data governance framework will support you to implement such initiative. Also the cyber security, you need to ensure that you have strong cyber security communication through the communication devices to prevent from cyber attacks. Also the skills gap and the training needs for the staff, it's important. But what the most important thing is to understand that the digital transformation and going and transform to digital is a long journey. It's not one step or one project that you can do. Starting by digitize your work, digitize the forms, the data collection sheet that you have. Then you need to automate your processes, the core processes that you have should be automated. Then after that, you need to implement system like data management system, asset management systems. All these systems after that should be integrated. After the integration of this multi-system that dealing with your asset, you can implement AI tool that will take at the end analysis of this data and give you more effective decision making. So it's step-by-step process. That's the important lesson that we learned from this project, and what supported us that we built a good infrastructure from the beginning. We had a high data integrity KPI. all that, many of our processes all automated, and also this kind of system, management system, has been implemented. So all these efforts, the previous effort that we have done in the past 5-10 years ago, that supported us to implement such an initiative that improve our reliability in the network. At the end, we hope that we provide you with a strong case study that shows you the benefit for implementation of the concept of digital transformation, and also convince you that digital transformation is a key enabler to help any organization to achieve their strategic goals. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Only 1 minute more and finish. You want to take that? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I just want to thank all my colleagues to adjust time requirements. If you realize that you see the recommendations from the last case study are very much aligned to the ones we have from the survey, and let's say that I guess we had a common agreement about the process to follow, about the issues to be paying attention to, and so on. So we're very much willing to open the floor now for discussion. We would like to hear from you your feedback, and somehow if you want to somehow interact with the team for any specific issues that you may, any specific question that you may have. So we're very much willing to have this Q&A session at this moment.
Excuse me, the reason for questions, we need you to understand points you haven't caught it from the lesson, or you have any addition to the study to give, so we can finally, we will issue a document called IMA Guideline for Digitalization of Assets, Facilities and Maintenance Management. We will issue it. It will be in our site, IMA at Word IMA. Anyway, the session on our booth there, you can go there and see it. IMA word.org. I'm sorry. Anyway, we have about 10 minutes to questions, and then the gentlemen, the committee members will answer. Please. Okay, you can take. Okay.
My question, my name is Ali Swedi. I'm part of the ISO 41000 committee, and they have a committee working in the digital transformation or digital part technology enabled in FM. I think it's a good idea to look at what they're doing. And Duncan Waddell is the chairman of ISO, TC 267. So it will be a good idea, your study, we can share it with the ISO team, and they can even consider it into the FM 41000 as well. But thank you, and great work by everyone. Thank you. It's not a question.
So good to hear that good advice. I think we're very much aligned. Most of us we're somehow getting, I personally have some involvement at the local level, and this is very much aligned to what we're doing, because we need even good standards for cybersecurity, to have everything under control. I don't know if any one of our members would like to react on that, but certainly we agree. That's very good advice. Thank you. Any other questions that you may have? Okay, well, we are all of us open to talk to you at any time during the conference. Please download the documents. We've been working hard to have these documents ready for you. Let's say, the involvement of the team in the future will depend on the interest of the people, but certainly digitalization is going to impact all our companies. So this is not, a flavor of the month. This is going to be here forever. And one way or another, the more standardized we have the process, the better we understand the importance of the different elements, the models we need, the sooner and the better for all of us. Okay? So thank you for attending to this session, and we're very much willing to talk to you later to this topic. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. If anyone wants to participate in the survey,
Welcome to the International Maintenance Association, a global network driving innovation and excellence in maintenance and physical assets. IMA is a non-profit organization registered in Switzerland, headquartered at Montagnola, Lugano, Switzerland. Dedicated to advancing the maintenance and assets management industry. We bring together experts, resources, and research to empower our members. IMA unites operations and maintenance, facility management, physical asset management, and reliability professionals and organizations worldwide. Members span over 30 countries across 5 continents, including the Americas, Africa, Australia, the Middle East, the Far East, and Europe. Meet the leadership of IMA, a diverse and distinguished board of professionals representing excellence in maintenance and asset management from across the globe. Our members span the globe, benefiting from exclusive access to cutting-edge studies, training, and events designed to set new standards in maintenance excellence. IMA welcomes members from all nationalities and industries, fostering a diverse and inclusive community. Engages professionals, researchers, managers, and specialists dedicated to knowledge sharing and innovation in maintenance management. From groundbreaking research studies to engaging events, IMA leads the way in fostering collaboration and innovation in the industry. Our commitment to advancing the field of maintenance and asset management drives us to conduct comprehensive research studies. These studies are central to our mission of fostering innovation, setting industry standards, and enhancing the professional development of our members. By joining the International Maintenance Association, you become part of an international network of practitioners and partners committed to setting the standard for excellence in maintenance, reliability, and asset management. Together, we're shaping the future of the maintenance industry.
Okay. Many thanks to our committee members, study committee members. One more thing, if you want to participate in the survey, Engineer Muhammad, please refer to, or do you want to join the IMA as a member, and it's not very hard, it's very easy to join. Please refer to Engineer Fahad in our IMA section in the exhibition. Thank you very much, and we will ask the chairman to take a picture with the committee, please, Dr. Zuhair.
سيدات والسادة، ننوه بأن هناك جلستان وورشة عمل ستعقد بالتوازي بعد 5 دقائق من الآن. نحضر الآن لعقد الجلسة الرابعة في هذه القاعة، بينما الجلسة الخامسة ستعقد في القاعة المجاورة في قاعة ب، وكذلك ورشة عمل في قاعة السمو. في هذه القاعة ستعقد الجلسة الرابعة بعنوان الاتجاهات المستقبلية في البنية التحتية للنقل المستدام، والتي يديرها سعادة المهندس حازم عبد الواحد، وهو نائب الرئيس الجمعية السعودية للهندسة المدنية. ويشارك فيها كل من الأستاذ الدكتور الطيب القاسم من جامعة الإمام عبد الرحمن بن فيصل، والمهندس سايمون برنسكوني وهو المؤسس والرئيس التنفيذي لأفالي سويسرا، وكذلك المهندس أشرف صبري وهو مستشار اقتصادي بشركة LSF. دقائق وستبدأ الجلسة في هذه القاعة. علما بأن الجلسة الموازية في قاعة ب بعنوان استراتيجيات مبتكرة لإدارة أنظمة المياه، والورشة العاشرة بعنوان تعزيز إدارة أصول البنية التحتية من خلال ديناميكيات وتعاون أصحاب المصلحة في قاعة السمو. نستأذنكم بالجلوس لبدء الجلسة. ندعو المهندس حازم عبد الواحد إلى المنصة لتقديم الجلسة والمتحدثين.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you all to this session in which we'll explore innovative approaches to enhance transportation sustainability and efficiency. We have 3 presentations in this session, and the floor will be open for discussion and questions at the end of the session. I would like to draw your attention that simultaneous translation is available in the hall. Improve infrastructure quality, ensure timely project completion, and enhance stakeholder collaboration are challenges facing roads construction and maintenance. In our first presentation, we will learn about the development of a BIM-based model for road construction and maintenance that helps overcome these challenges. Our speaker for this topic is Dr. Al-Tayyib Qasim from Imam Abd Rahman bin Faisal University, Saudi Arabia. He is an experienced academic with a PhD in construction management, and he's specialized in asset and infrastructure management. Please welcome Dr. Qasim. تفضل.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pleased to be here and honored to present my work in front of you. Today I'll be talking about developing a BIM-based model for road construction rehabilitation. I'm just waiting for the presentation to be ready. I'll just give you a brief about the study that we made about road rehabilitations and maintenance. We wanted to create like a BIM-based model to enhance the collaboration among different stakeholders responsible for the construction and rehabilitation of different assets within the road. Okay, so now it's ready. So this study is motivated by addressing the following facts. Of course, roads is being considered as one of the vital infrastructure facilities, and the growing need for improved facilities and increasing complexities of cities have introduced significant challenges to road maintenance and rehabilitation efforts. Of course, reflecting these importance, lots of investments have been made over these facilities. Currently, when we are talking about